Hello everybody again. I want to talk about David Cameron and the Conservatives' contradictory claim to be progressive Conservatives at the same time as bemoaning big government. What they're suggesting when he attacks big government is the old Tory routine. I've got a phrase for it. It's the Somali solution. Because if you want to examine the results of having no government or small government, go to Somalia. There's no red tape, there's no bureaucracy, there's no government interference, there's no stupid rules and regulations and red tape and nanny state or Big Brother or any of that. You've got real freedom, man, there, because you don't have big government. In fact, you have very small government, in fact, almost non-existent government. And this is the message they preach. It's based on a lie, and that lie is, anyone who thinks about it, the civilization is about governments and rules and they're always going on about you must have law and order. At the same time as they would say they want small government. They want armed forces. They want policemen. And when he says he wants small government, does that mean he's not as fond of the National Health Service as he makes out? Because that's a communist, never mind socialist, institution. It's completely state-owned and centrally controlled, and it's paid for by taxation. This is the real gripe. They do not like rules and regulations because it restricts what they think is their right to exploit other people. And rules and regulations are there generally for the protection of the poor. When it comes to rules and regulations in industry and safety and things like this, I don't mean law and order by that, because the police are there to protect private property. They're there to protect them from us. So the whole thing is basically a lie. This Tory mantra of we've got to get rid of. They got it from Reagan, and we saw what happened when Reagan and Thatcher got rid of big government, as they called it. They are the government. They want to be the government. There's a huge contradiction at the centre of all this, and I hope it's challenged by everyone, particularly Labour. This business of being how can you be progressive and be a conservative at the same time? If you're a conservative, you're at least in favour of the status quo, or even of bygone days. You're in favour of how it used to be. That's not progressive. The Tories are not and never could be progressive. They try to dress themselves up as the friend of the poor. My God, this old Etonian clique of Cameron and Osborne and Boris Johnson and all these. Boris Johnson, we're continually told, is such a charming man, and Cameron is also quite charming. Well, he should be bloody charming. And mummies and daddies spent a lot of money sending them to charm school, I haven't got any fucking charm. Well, maybe a different kind of charm, but not the kind of obsequious, jokey, suave charm of a Cameron or a Johnson, These people are, they go to Eton as a training school for right-wing leaders. It always has been. We're going to have a return of the Macmillan years when there was half a dozen or more old Etonians in the cabinet. I think there's something like that now in the old Etonian, in the Conservative shadow cabinet. Again and again we return to the point that it is a minority of people who come from one section of society who the Tories represent. You only have to go and look at them and listen to them. Not when they're speaking into the television cameras, in the bars and all the rest of it. A Tory is a Tory is a Tory. Tory means thief, by the way. It comes from the Irish. and he had it just about right. Because that, when he says he wants a small government, which means lower taxes, presumably, otherwise, where would the money go? He's not going to spend it on the poor, that's for sure. He keeps going on it. They created the poor. Up until Margaret Thatcher came to power, the expression the poor had disappeared. Please believe me. Check it out. Between 1950 and 1975 to 80, there was no contemporaneous use of the expression the poor, unless we were looking back at the 1930s. Our streets, since these deregulation people and get rid of big government people, we don't even have hostels now for the homeless. When I owe my life to big government. You know, I've recovered from heart attacks, cancer, and alcoholism, all through big government, the National Health Service. I got a telephone call yesterday from my doctor's surgery. I've had letters telling me to go and get my flu jab for free. That is big government. That is what they are against. And how they can pretend to be helping the poor or helping the disenfranchised and all the rest of the crap they feed us, and at the same time get rid of government, because government is what protects poor people from the rich. As I pointed out before, look at the building industry in particular when Thatcher came to power. The number of deaths soared in the building industry. Working member, the number of profits, the amount of profits that Wimpy's and the other big companies made went up, but the number of deaths of building site workers went down, went up too, sorry. You know, they go up together. This is what their lack of rules and regulations and red tape and bureaucracy and all the rest of the crap they feed us, you know, it's all about. I can guarantee you that if Cameron is re-elected, the rich will continue to get richer and the poor will continue to get poorer. For any other behaviour, to stop that happening, you have to have socialist measures, and there's no chance of oldie Tony and David Cameron doing that. It's just not in their DNA. Tories are dishonest by definition. Always remember that. It's a game they're playing. It's a huge contradiction at the centre of their policies that they maintain. Their policies, the new ones, the friends of the poor and get rid of big government. How can you do both at the same time? I hope the British people are not going to be stupid enough to fall for it, because of this smooth-talking PR man, you know, with his charming wife and his Notting Hill or Hampstead or Chelsea I expect, you know, roots. How much is he worth, David Cameron? He refuses to. Oh, for open government, but don't ask him how much. He's like a cabbie, like a London cabbie. They can never tell you how much they earn neither. They will never answer the question, and neither will David Cameron. You know, he gets his whole second house allowance and all the rest of it. He was one of the ones who was fiddling with expenses, and then tried to turn the whole thing against Labour when Tory MPs were the most guilty of this. You know, and at the same time they talk about political corruption in China, or communist corruption in China, or the odd case here and there. You know, yes, that's the basic. They find it impossible to tell the truth. Tories are dishonest by definition, and what they seek is the Somali solution. That is their answer to everything. Smaller governments. Where would you rather live? Scandinavia, Finland, Norway, Denmark, Sweden, or Somalia? The highest taxed, the most involved governments in the world are, the most egalitarian city in the world is China, and believe you me, they have big governments. And it's big government which has made them the most progressive and the most, as far as prosperity goes, compare India and China. You don't have rules and regulations in India either. And that's why the people are starving to death. They don't even have law and order in the villages. They don't have education. These are caused by rules and regulations. More rules, more regulations to protect the poor from the bastard rich who want to steal from them because they don't do any work to earn their money. We do. They make money, we earn money. Down with capitalism. Long live socialism. Forward comrades. Right on!